All right, so I'm Roger Rayle. I'm chair of CARD and chair of Sci Residents for Safe Water. And this meeting is being recorded. It will be put up on YouTube shortly after it's done. And we'll have a little bit of discussion today. The big one will be next month at the quarterly meeting when we have EGLE uh, representatives present. But we do have EPA people on board, so. But to get the meeting started, I'm going to turn it over to Jack Eaton, our executive director, and I'm going to share the screen to show the agenda.
All right, then. Before we started recording, we noted that there is an election today, and we would like to conclude this meeting um, earlier if we can. So we appreciate everybody's attendance, but also your cooperation in moving through this agenda. So the first thing on the agenda is the approval of the July minutes. Are there any comments or questions about the minutes? Seeing no hands raised, all those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
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 All opposed, say no. The minutes are accepted. Moving on to the EPA. Diane, I'm going to let you run this portion of it. You can identify who you want speaking on behalf of the EPA.
Okay, no, that's great. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Glad to be back. I been spending a lot of time in your neck of the woods, and our EPA colleagues have been with me, and we've been having some really great conversations with community members. So far, we've had about 20 folks between the dates in July, and I think we're looking to, I mean, calls still come in, but we're looking probably about 10 to 15 for our next visit in August. We've got a lot of great response on the survey online, so people are able to interact there. One interesting thing that you all might find interesting is sometimes those surveys, as people are taking them, they convert over to interviews because I think people are starting to answer and they're like, you know what? I'm really more interested than I thought, and I'm going to go over and talk to EPA. So that was an interesting result from having that resource there, and I think it's been overall positive. Coming up in August, we've got our next series of interviews at Scioto Township Hall, and we still have openings. So if you know anyone who hasn't had a chance to talk to us, we're absolutely grateful to have that opportunity. And if folks are out of town, because it is still summer, maybe people are taking their last bit of vacation, we can do a phone call. We don't have to meet you in person, although we're really fun in person. I don't know. I'm just saying. Um,
Is there alcohol involved?
it's not that kind of fun. I think everything is, we've had, I don't think there was anything really eventful at the library when we were at the Westgate Library, other than maybe we were double booked a little bit, and that's fine. But what was interesting at the Skyline High School, we lost power the second day and we couldn't get in. So we had to conduct some of our interviews outside. Luckily, it was a nice day and it wasn't raining, but that was interesting. But that's okay. We made it work. But yeah, like I said, this next one will be at the high school, or sorry, at the Township Hall, with interviews set there the 17th through 19th. And then one thing that we're currently organizing as well, I think as a group we've talked, and I've talked to some of the folks that were participating on the sounding board session a few months back about coming into community areas that maybe haven't been engaged for a while and maybe doing some community-based workshops because maybe folks don't want to engage on one-on-one meetings, but maybe would be more comfortable providing the information that we're seeking through community interviews through maybe a workshop or sit with their neighbors in kind of a group format. So we have scheduled, so far it looks like it's a go to have a workshop at Scioto Township on August 19th. I want to share, if I can I share my screen? I want to show you a draft of a postcard just so you all see what we're doing. And we're
Yeah,
completely
let me make you a co-host so you can
transparent.
do that. Hold on.
Okay. So this is still draft.
Here we go. Make co-host. Okay, now you should be able to share your screen. You have to accept the co-host. Did you get it?
Yeah, I'm just going to replace the current. It said allow multiple, but here we go. So just let me explain this one just a little bit. This is a postcard that we were looking to send to folks that live north of the site who have wells to invite them to the workshop at the Scioto Township Hall. And the way that the format is kind of coming together is having a really informal poster session because people can get some baseline information, basic information. As we've been doing some of these interviews, that became, kind of came to the forefront that as people are getting back informed and kind of plugged back into the site, there's a number of like basic questions that they have, especially those who have had their wells tested and things like that. Like how do you read the reports, things of that nature. So we thought we would have some basic information for them in a poster session. And then to follow up with the workshop where we would be have a facilitated discussion to gather information that helps us understand just been having in the one-on-one interviews, where people get their information, what concerns they wanted to share with the agency as we go forward. So that's kind of what we're doing. Have the plan here to have that targeted distribution of these postcards, inviting that neighborhood to that workshop. I am cognizant that we're not turning anyone away at the door. We're not checking addresses, right? So this is going to be a public meeting, and so it is open to the public. But I just would encourage folks to, if they're interested in coming and learning more, just be cognizant that we're trying to make some space in this particular case for this neighborhood. And so there's only so much space in the township hall. So just want to kind of put that out there.
Well, how many people are you inviting? How many of these are you sending out?
Right now, it looks like the target list is, and there could be businesses in there. We just kind of drew a geographic area, and it's about 1,000. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you might get 300.
Well, we will. This is we're going to see how it turns out because I also remember like when we talked about community interviews and one-on-ones, and I remember you guys were like, "Oh my gosh, you're going to get so many people." And as of right now, we're getting about the number of people that I anticipated interested in this topic, right? So we'll see. We will make it work. If we have capacity limits, then we'll deal with that there. But I am pretty hopeful that we'll be able to accommodate those that are interested.
Are
And
you
people who can't make it, they can also take the survey online again.
right? You don't have any uh well, I guess the survey is the QR code. Uh, do you anticipate people letting you know that they want to be there?
So we did talk about adding an RSVP,
Uh-huh.
and I haven't decided if I wanted to do that yet or not because I'm really want to get these in the mail
I
because
see.
of the timing of the meeting plus how long it can sometimes take these things to get out there.
Right.
So,
When I
but
checked,
I'm
I'm sorry.
open to feedback. If you guys think like, oh, girl, you're gonna want to RSVP or just at least put like, limited seating or something and to let people know that it'd be good if they could let us know if they're coming or not.
Okay. What I would like to have is a copy of this so I can look it over in the next few hours. Um,
Well, I would, because I ask for your patience because we already sent out a first round of edits on this one, and
oh
I'm
yeah, okay.
I'm impatiently waiting for it to come back. Um,
This is to EPA to review it.
yeah, we have a number of people who want their eyes on this. So,
That's a good idea.
yeah.
But what I was gonna say is that in relation to this one on the 19th, I've got a response from one of the neighbors who was affected by
Mm-hmm.
the northward plume, in that narrower area,
Mm-hmm.
like 4 or 5 dozen homes. Um, and when I read that, I thought it was going to be just for those people that are currently with hits, but this sounds like it's a wider audience.
Yeah, I mean, people who are on private wells in that area maybe haven't been plugged in for a while and haven't already participated in the one-on-ones or taken the survey.
Okay.
Maybe this is something that would interest them.
Can I share my screen over top of yours?
Here, let me stop sharing this. There.
Because I could have done that myself. Um, what I want to do is show you my Google Earth mesh.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to share. And then, so this is the area I was talking about, all these orange donuts.
Yep.
So that pretty much the area that you're looking at, but wider, including all of these homes here.
Yeah, so it's a square, I think it tops off of it, Miller. What's that road?
Well, Miller's here, and then there's
Right, so
Gardner.
up top there's Miller Road.
Miller is right here.
No, I can't. What is this road that goes up by above Scioto Township, the Scioto Township label? Doesn't that say Miller Road?
Oh, that's Miller. You're right.
Okay.
That's Miller. I was pointing to Dexter.
Yeah.
But you saying it's centered around there?
I mean, it's including what you're pointing at, but it's
Okay,
also
okay.
extended over to the west.
And you got at least this far west. Here's a
Yep.
home here that's hit. And
Yep.
then probably some into Ann Arbor Township then too?
No, the only because I think there's a subdivision right in there that's on municipal
This is
wells.
on municipal water here.
So we're not going to include that, but just there's this. I know there's a subset in there that does have wells. So we were paying close attention to that, and again, just trying to target. It's not going to be perfect, it's going to be. We're just going to put the info out there and we're also going to be posting it on or sharing it with somebody at a contact at ScioTownshipNews.org, which seems to be a source of information for folks over there.
Yeah, you should also include MLive.
Well, again, now we're starting to get real big.
Oh, well, okay. I understand why you do it that way. That's fine.
Yeah. And this is a good, again, I want to make sure everybody knows that, it's like this is one workshop and we're out of here, right? So this is our first one, let's have this, this workshop. Let's meet the needs of these residents in residential areas here. It doesn't preclude us from having other ones. I think we also on your agenda was something about the U of M students, and that's still pending. We're gonna continue to work on figuring out how that that will work with the students, but we're still targeting to have a workshop for that group as well. Hi, Kathy.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I have a few questions, Diane. When we spoke about days and hours at Scioto Township, for August 19th, I had written down 10 to 3 and 6 to 8. But are you saying now there won't be anything in the morning on that day, and it'll just
nope. So the morning slots are for the one-on-one meetings that we're going to have at that space. The evening one is just for we'll just stay put and then have the workshop. Yep.
Okay. So, all right. I didn't see it on this brochure that let me just put this one up. This one that was at the Scioto Township Hall. I didn't see that.
We hadn't locked it in yet because we weren't sure. Yep. In that flyer, it does mention something about workshops. Stay tuned.
Yes, it does.
This is the tuned. Yes.
Okay. Could you please be sure I get copies of everything, and
absolutely
you can send them to me, and email me with the information, the finalized information.
Yes. So you are on my list to get that postcard when it's ready. I also was gonna I figured you might want some actual postcards at the township.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so we'll have those as well. Mm-hmm.
Would you let me know when somebody brings them over to the township? Because this last time I wasn't even aware that this flyer had appeared at the township hall.
They just dropped some off. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just an email. Just let me know it's there. And
we might end up shipping them, and I can put them to your attention.
Okay, that's fine.
If I had what kind of number you think you'd want? Like 50
postcards?
Yeah, if I sent you a stack, how many you want?
So you're anticipating mailing approximately 1,000, you said?
I think so. Right now, that's what the mailing list is about. Yeah.
At least 300. I would think. And because we can also put them in the meeting hall for planning commission meetings, for the township board meetings, people will see them, pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
Are you anticipating people wanting to learn more before they go into the meeting?
Well, that's why we're going to have the poster session. And it's going to be some real basic information. We are not going to be prepared to go into site history. And we aren't, even on the one-on-one meetings, we don't have, our folks, EPA is going through their, enforcement process. There isn't an update there. EGLE is still continuing their work under their consent decree. So that's the update there, right? But so we aren't going to be spending a lot of time on background. It's really meant to EPA's here. This is what EPA this is our process. This is some of our resources and tools. Some of the things that when some of you had gone to that meeting with Debbie Dingell in April, some of the stuff that you were privy to will probably be re-upped in that space too.
Because one of the things I was thinking about was all of the displays I have from over the decades that were, some of them were foam board, you know.
Mm-hmm.
People remember the maps that I took to various public meetings. And I was thinking somehow it'd be good to have maybe I'd work with the library or the university or somebody where you can have a room set up and say, here's what happened over the years. Here's what we know. And have images and have a couple screens with the electronic displays too. And have you thought about anything like that for orientation for people that so they come in at least with some especially the people that just moved here, you know, that weren't around the last few decades when we had these public meetings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like there is a space for that at some point, but I think this meeting, I don't want to set expectations that folks are going to be coming and getting a site update.
Okay.
Because we have a really narrow objective here, and that's introduce ourselves. Hey, this is super fun. If you had some, questions specific to your home about some of the stuff that's gone on, we have some information, some people there that can probably answer that better than EPA. But otherwise, we're there for the workshop. We're there to collect people's input and learn about the community.
Okay. Well, at some point, I do need to figure out what's going to happen to all this archival material.
Yes.
And I want to have a good home that's going to be around for as long as the cleanup takes. So
Yeah.
Everybody who's on the screen can be thinking about what's the best way to do that. And I actually talked to the library and at one time, and they seemed amenable to that because one of their buildings, of course, is in Parkland Plaza, right
Mhm.
over the Western Plume. And they might even be able to provide a room there for something like that. So that's something I will pursue if enough people think that's a good idea. Anyway, I didn't want to steal all of your update.
No, you always raise pertinent points, and I think you raise things that other people are thinking about too. So thank you for helping me get that full perspective. Let's see what else. Okay, I already talked about, we're still looking ahead to University of Michigan, so more to come on that later, but very much looking forward to getting that first workshop out of the way and see what happens. Before I move on from EPA, I think I haven't been looking at the participants. If there's anyone else from EPA that wanted to add anything, or if we're good to move on.
We got Melissa and Colleen.
Oh, there's Melissa. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know Melissa or Colleen if you had anything else you wanted to add before they moved on for other updates.
I don't have anything to add.
Hi, this is Colleen. I was going to say, Diane, one of the things that was brought up at the last card meeting was a discussion about public health assessment or the request for a risk registry. So one of the things that Diane and I did, we met with Michigan Department of Health and Human Services point of contact, a toxicologist that's specifically assigned to the Gelman site. And I think what we can say is that obviously the site is on the MPL, and I think the pivotal thing to that is it brings resources to the table. And an example of that is because the site is listed on the MPL, now the health department we'll prepare and update a health consultation. And so that's kind of one of the key things. And we will get a little bit more information about the timing of that and what that means. But it's an opportunity to look at that information, look at new information, or look at the current information. And that's something that specifically the health department will do. See, there's a question.
Go ahead, Rita.
So you said someone's in the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services has been assigned to the Gelman site. Who is that?
Sure. Jacob Karsick. I think that's how you say it.
Carrick.
Jacob Carrick.
Say it again.
Jacob Carrick.
Is that with a K or a C?
C.
See, we can
C-A-R-R.
we can offer his email and contact in the chat. So
Okay, great.
That's something. I mean, traditionally with every Superfund site, we work with a variety of stakeholders, the state health department, the county health department, and specifically Jake has been assigned to the Gelman site, and I think has had some knowledge of the site, has been pulled in peripherally on the site, but is looking forward to working as a team as we move forward.
No, it's wonderful. It's just that it's the first I heard that there was someone from that department assigned to the Gelman site. So thanks.
Yeah, and I think that is ultimately because the site's on the MPL. Now that triggers the health department to get a little bit more engaged and to conduct that health consultation.
Great. Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure.
That's important to have the information like that at the card meeting, so everybody, as soon as it's announced, as soon as it's official, to let card know so that everybody's up to speed on it. Thank you.
Okay, then.
That's it.
Moving on then. I don't think George is here. Dan's not here. Is there anyone here from EGLE?
EGLE's not anticipated because it's not a quarterly meeting. So
then let's move right along. Can we have a representative from the county tell us whether or not they have any updates?
Hey there, it's Kristen Schweikofer. I don't have any updates, sorry. No news from the county commissioners in terms of, getting a signed representative. And I think we gave our update on the sampling last month. And really that was through EGLE, so it wasn't our update to give. So any questions for the county?
I don't see any hands raised, so.
any planned activities in the next month before the quarterly meeting?
For the county? No, I mean, we'll be participating in the poster session in August, but we don't have any additional sampling. That's all been taken on by EGLE and their consultant.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm moving into the city. I didn't see whether Aaron came in or not.
No, don't think.
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, okay. There you are. Do you have any updates?
Yeah, so Roger had sent me a question about some work being done in West Park, and I wanted to give a quick update. I think I mentioned this a few months ago, that the band shell in West Park is being removed. And so we had some testing wells installed in the spring at West Park, so both temporary and permanent testing wells close to the band shell. So we did that to get an understanding of what the 1,4-dioxane concentrations are there and what the groundwater depths are. And that's Patty's team is helping with that. And the initial testing did not show any 1,4-dioxane. We are going to continue to monitor that site as the demolition progresses. And then there will be one permanent testing well remaining after the demolition is complete. And then just a
And that's a
general,
new, I'm sorry, that's a new well that's going to go in there?
correct. Yep.
Okay.
And then so from so that they're taking the band shell down and then kind of concurrently we'll be kind of doing a visioning process. So there may or may not be a venue going in there in the future.
Is that well going to be drilled to bedrock?
I do not, I believe Patty's on the call, could probably answer a little more about the technical.
Yep.
questions.
It is not, Roger. The purpose of it is to monitor for dewatering. So they don't plan on dewatering too deep, right? It's just enough to get the band shell out. So it's intended to monitor for 1,4-dioxane movement during that work.
But just movement during the work, not from the groundwater, not from the aquifer.
Just that, yeah, just exactly. You got it. Yep.
Because of course, what's going to happen is if you do drill it deep, it's going to be the same as this well here, where the Gelman drilled down, and when they got to a certain level, the water shot out of the ground like 20 feet in the air. It took
Yeah,
them
I
2 days
believe
to
it.
plug it.
I
We
believe
still
it.
don't know what dioxane is at that level. There's no deep wells in this area. So that's a consideration. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think that's all I had on that.
Well, you did have an update a while back on these wells down near Chapin.
Yeah.
This property, those are still there and still being monitored. Is that correct?
Um, those wells, actually, there's one well oh, sorry, this is 415. Sorry. Yes, those wells are still there. We have the ability to monitor them. We have not tested them, I think, in a couple of years. But yeah, they are there.
I think that'd behoove you to sample at least once a year. And also, we talked about the work that was being done here on First in Washington.
That's correct. Yep.
And now that's moved over to the street over here now. So, and there was some dewatering because that's a 30 feet deep hole or something.
Yes. Yep.
And
Yep.
you didn't find any dioxane in that. Is that right?
That's correct. Yep. That work is still ongoing. You're right. They are moving to the north. They're also moving to the west. So they're going to be in front of the Y, replacing some infrastructure. So there'll be some dewatering there and more sampling as that is occurring.
Okay. In front of the Y. It's back
So right across from 415.
right
Yep.
here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the Allen Creek is this blue line here, it's an approximation of it anyway.
Yeah, water table's real high there.
Yeah. You started to say maybe there was another one that you were thinking about.
So a couple of years ago, we had helped out on Chapin Street, and I think there's still a well. There is still a well that was part of that work. I'm not exactly sure where it is right now. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's off of I want to say it's off of Liberty. I'll have to look for you, Roger. I'm not sure. You
Well,
probably
I
don't.
think you might be talking about the Eaton wells.
Nope,
No,
not the Eaton wells.
not the Eaton wells. Okay.
No, nope. It's one that we installed for a wastewater treatment plant project.
And it's not this one.
No.
Huh. I don't have an item for that, so
Okay.
send me the information
Yeah,
about that well.
will do.
Um,
That one I think is about 40 feet, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the Eden wells weren't that deep either, but we had some baseline data there that be useful to watch from time to time. Because this is just an approximation. We don't have enough wells, and I'll be talking about that during my update a little bit. But this area here that was supposed to have 3 more monitoring wells, and we didn't get them. So
Okay,
that's all I have.
I'll
Thanks.
find that bore log for you.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Aaron and Patty. I appreciate that information. I was curious about the Washington Street at first as well. So I'm glad to see that you're looking at that.
Yeah.
How deep did they go there?
I think it's 30 feet, maybe a little deeper. They've had some technical issues. Obviously, water table's high and it's been causing some issues, but they've got it under control now and hopefully going to start micro tunneling here soon.
So as that, they're digging the holes, and as that fills up with water, where are they? Where does that water go when they take it out of there?
Yep. So water that not processed water that they're using, I would say, because there is some water that's used for the drilling, but the groundwater itself, as it is dewatered, goes through a series, basically a treatment train. So it is treated before it's discharged back, and there's sampling that's completed that's reported to the state. It's stated that I review as well. We're not the ones sampling. We're helping the city out as eyes on the project. So.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And it's discharged to the storm sewer?
It is being discharged to Allen Creek Drain.
Okay.
All right. I don't see any other hands up, so I'm going to move on. Thank you both. Kathy Knoll, do you have any updates for the township?
No, I don't have any updates.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I've got, I skipped to City of Ann Arbor. Is anyone here from the Ann Arbor Township? I see no one, so we're going to move on. Are there any other stakeholders who have anything that they want to raise at this point in time? Seeing no hands, I'm going to move on. Any executive board members that have anything that they want to raise at this point? We still haven't found a card secretary. I'm assuming that the Yale Superfund project has no update.
Rita has an update for that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there was a meeting. There was a Zoom call meeting just yesterday with the Superfund Center, which is preparing its what's called a competing renewal grant application to continue their work of their center, which as I think everybody knows on this call, has its focus 1,4-dioxane. While they're working on their competing renewal, I've not seen anything yet. I will see some, drafts in a little bit. But what my understanding is that they're trying to broaden it a little bit. They are shifting their cohort from working with the Long Island population because, the state of New York lowered their 1,4-dioxane criterion for allowable amounts of 1,4-dioxane in drinking water. And so they basically had an unexposed population or very low exposed population in the Long Island area where they were initially studying. They're working with the University of North Carolina with some very good people and they have a cohort there where they have not only exposure data, but they also have clinical health outcome data. With the clinical exposure, the clinical exposure related to the, the exposure related to the 1,4-dioxane. So I haven't seen it. It's a little bit vague. It was to me, they did ask about the Gelman site, and I did point out the usual, positive things why I think epidemiologists ought to be excited and interested in studying this population. One that it has the highest human exposures that I know of through drinking water, especially, residential drinking water in not only tens and thousands and tens of thousands of parts per billion. They're historical, and I pointed out that if you're interested in studying liver cancer, historical exposures actually could work in your favor because cancer takes a long time. So I pointed out all these things, and I pointed out that doesn't have the volatile organochlorine co-contaminants that are common in almost all the other 1,4-dioxane drinking water sites. And anyway, so they seemed interested, and the lead scientist from the University of North Carolina is very sharp, in my estimation. I know her professionally from before my retirement, and so I'm hopeful that it piqued some interest. They are talking about how they might include this site in their competing renewal. That's all I can tell you. It's at least hopeful. And so that makes me happy. So that's all. And I'm still on the external advisory board. So
Thank you so much. So these grant applications would be for the fiscal year 2027 budget.
I believe so.
And,
I haven't looked up the RFA. It was evidently released quite late, and the application is due in September. So this is a real, they're working hard and fast, is my understanding.
Thank you. Any
James,
other-
you had your hand up and you have to leave early.
I was going to talk about the next two line items, but
Go ahead.
well, just quickly regarding polluter pay, legislature is not in session. They're on their summer break. Consequently, there's no further news regarding polluters pay at this time. It's been referred to committee. Maybe hopefully something good will come out of lame duck. I'm not holding my breath considering the election year and given the general state of the Michigan House and Governor Reman Whitmer's priorities. But there's that. That's maybe James's personal observations. Going back to line item 3, I want to talk about the MS4 violation, Jack and Roger. Let me make sure that while we have county people online, this began simply in terms of a leakage that happened outside the what's the word I'm trying to find, the prohibition zone. What would be our steps on this?
Well, I think it's definitely within the prohibition zone that we're talking about here.
Right. Okay.
The issue is MS4 has certain rules that are different than what the consent judgment has considered, and there's some differences in there that Dan Bicknell was pointing out to really raise this issue originally.
Shall we bring this up with the EPA?
Well, it should be. It's part of the history to bring to all of the different things we've had to consider over the years. And this is one of them.
Okay. Well, since Diane is here, I have not a chance to discuss that with her. I will take it upon myself to review the history of this, and I will discuss this with the EPA, and then we'll take further steps from there. And we'll discuss this at the September meeting.
Yeah, we have minimal information on this. It's, basically what's in the statutes, and it's above my level of expertise at this point.
Okay. Well, I'll take the lead on this, and we'll have some conversations.
Right.
And I'll probably have some more at the September meeting then.
Thank you. I appreciate your effort. Anything further? Under executive board, it says other issues. Do any board members have any other issue they'd like to raise at this time? With that, I'm going to turn it over to Roger.
All right, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. I had to add a few things just in the last day because of some new information we got since the last meeting. So the first thing is this letter that came through July 15th. And actually on that day, Chris at EGLE sent me a copy of it. But what really triggered it was when it showed up on the EGLE ride system over the weekend. And I downloaded it and looked at it in more details. And basically, this is a summary of what the letter says, is that this letter is talking about compliance with the fourth CJ. And these are the three areas that needed to be addressed. So the Eastern Area Groundwater Surface Water Interface Report, basically this is a summary of what it, there's some data that was collected and there's a report due by December of last year, but they haven't submitted the report. So this notice says within 90 days, you have to submit that report. That's already, 8 months late. Similarly, for the Western area, groundwater surface water interface report and response, and this might overlap with the what we were just talking about with the drain issue. So anyway, the activity plan was in March, but was not submitted, so it's already several months late. So within 30 days, they're supposed to submit the Western Area Groundwater Surface Water Interface Report. And finally, and this I'll elaborate on a little bit more, the Western delineation, there's 2 wells that were not really included. They were included, but they're not drilled yet. They're not installed yet for the Western area, and I'll go into that in a little detail. So within 90 days, Gelman's got to have access agreements to put those wells in. And let me talk about those wells. So this is what back in the fourth CJ had locations F and G in the eastern area, along with location H. And the challenging with the interveners and that, the outcome of that was that this whole area, these 3 monitoring locations, were removed from the consent judgment. These red areas over here are the ones that some of these have been installed, but it's actually these 2 locations that were renamed to F and G. So we went from this to this. This area here doesn't have any monitoring other than what was already there. So the new F and G are here north of Jackson Road before 94. And then, of course, all these got relabeled to be other. These got installed. These were different monitoring wells, but these, for some reason, Gelman has not been able to get access for that. Well, why is that important? Well, those areas are what could be feeding the hits on Elizabeth all these years, plus the recent hit on this one well off of Dexter Road, and maybe even this one over here at Scioto Meadows, plus all the ones to the north of that. Meanwhile, over in this area, we don't have those monitoring locations that we were supposed to have in the original CJ. Now, there's some wells being drilled here, as we just found from the city. They're drilling a well by where the band shell used to be, but that's not going to be a deep enough monitoring well to know what's going on. There's one shallow well here. I think it's 82S. That was the shallowest well, permanent well. These locations here that you see were one-time wells. They're not ongoing wells. Now, we did get a couple ongoing wells as a result of Slosson's geothermal project. Slosson Middle School. And as part of that, they put in 2 monitoring wells. They 2 locations where they sampled from 0 to 50 feet down and found dioxin all the way down. Again, this is right over the Allen Creek drain area. And then those 2 locations became a set of 3, I think, monitoring wells. So we do have some permanent monitoring wells, but it's not going to replace what was in the original fourth CJ. And that's the point I want to make. It's good that EGLE is requiring these two locations finally be installed so we know what's going on to the north. But we don't have enough monitoring in here to know what's heading through the Chapin area and maybe up to the north a little bit here and maybe on beyond as the plumes meander along the river or underneath the river. So I just wanted everybody to be aware of that the F and G that were in the original are not what this current letter is referring to. It's referring to these new the new names for those of location I and J that still have not been installed. So just wanted to make sure everybody knew that because I was confused when I first saw it. I said, well, F and G, would it be good to have those? Well, no, it's these ones over here to the west. Yeah, it's good to have those too. Anyway, and here's another screen of shows what where this contamination could be coming from, in addition to maybe coming from the DuPont area. And of course, everybody remembers that the well that triggered all these deep wells in this area was a homeowner well. I think Gilman actually helped the homeowner put in that well, and that's the one that had really high concentrations in the Evergreen area, and the Gilman put in about 4 monitoring locations around that initially, not necessarily at the right elevation. And then, of course, we've got MW 129 and 121, 129, and I think this MW 148 that finally got installed as one of the fourth consent judgment. And these all have 1 to 4 parts per billion of dioxane. It's about the same level that we're seeing at Elizabeth. So this whole area could be feeding to the north. These are all the hits in the last 5 years, including on this map, we show the 2026 hits that are new, that are within 200, 300 feet of the river, just from the June sampling that EGLE did. So I wanted everybody to be aware of that these are important wells. They should have been put in a long time ago to know what's going on. Where is that dioxin coming from? Is it circling around? Is it coming straight through MW11I and D down here? That we don't know. So this is important to get those in. But similarly down here, there's still a dearth of wells here to show what's going on towards Chapin to know what vapor intrusion hazards there might be in the future. We don't know how much dioxane is coming through here. And we don't know the pathways of all the dioxane. So it's good to have these kind of samples done. Any questions before I go on? Oh, and Jim Schultz, I need to talk to your son because he's right in this area. And he should be, he should make sure he's at one of these SIO meetings, you know, because he's got some interest in this whole thing going forward, not just personal, but business too.
Thank you, Roger.
All right. So again, these are the recent hits, homeowner wells. And this is not a homeowner well, but it's a monitoring well. But these are homeowner wells in here. Some of these were done by SIO and haven't been resampled since. This one over here has gone up as a pretty solid 1 to 2 parts per billion now on a homeowner well here. It's very shallow. It's shallower here than it is in some of these. So I'm a little worried about this because this well is the same depth as my well up here. So I have some personal interest in that. And then this is just a rehash of what I talked about last couple of months. This is EGLE's interactive map, and you can do this. You can go to the EGLE site through srsw.org and look at these. If you click on one of these, you'll be able to go down and see all the sampling that's done through 2025. The 2026 data, hopefully, will be updated in the near future. There were a couple anomalies here. This well is mislocated. This is a Barber address. It should be over here. This is not included because it's in Lodi Township. So I couldn't look up the actual, well information because I didn't have this access to wells in Lodi Township like I do in Scioto. So anyway, that's what the EGLE mapping looks like. And of course, this is a recap of things we already covered, but community interviews, I wanted to include this here because we still have these August 17th through 19 days available. And let's make sure that any of the neighborhoods that are affected, we reach out to them. And one of the people that told me about the 19th lives in that neighborhood, so I asked her to do some outreach with her neighbors. I'm also working on my own path to do a U of M outreach with Chris Kolb and his people that work with him at the university intergovernmental department. And I'm going to have some meeting with him in the coming weeks. Finally, the SRSW card archives. This is something I touched on earlier with the maps. It's important that we have a home for that for the life of this site for the cleanup. And this is something that I want to. Anybody has any good ideas of how we can do this? Again, originally proposing the School of Information. It'd be good to do the archives because that's the old library school. They're good at indexing and keeping track of archives and categorizing it right. This would be an ongoing project that would go back and review everything that we've all done over the decades and put it in some kind of structure that all the current decision makers can use and get quick access to. And there'll be an AI component for that too, to make it readily available. And I've already got a start on that, but anyway, that's my update. Again, this is the flyer. So people looking at this online, they can follow this and even scan the QR code if they want to participate. So that's it. Any questions?
Go ahead, James.
I thought James was gone. It's past 7.
You're mute, James.
And you're not on screen either.
Talking this Jim?
No, the other James.
Okay.
You can talk if you want to, Ginger, but put your hand up first. I just sent him a message to unmute. I don't know. Maybe he left his screen on after raising his hand and left.
Well, in that case, I'm going to proceed. Thank you, Roger, for your update and for bringing it in on time. And are there any non-agenda items anyone wants to offer?
Oh, James is coming back in.
Go ahead, James.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, Roger, can you go back to the first slide of your presentation?
Sure. This one?
The second one with a list of deadlines missed.
Yeah.
Thank you. Give me about 10 seconds here.
There's a link to this in my notes.
Okay, great.
So you'll be able to get to all this information.
Okay, never mind then. Thank you. And sorry for that. My computer decided to bug out on me.
Yeah, we figured something like that happened because you raised your hand and then you disappeared and then you were gone and now you're back.
Well, my apologies.
Not a problem.
All righty then. Thank you again. I'm going to remind you that the next card meeting is September 1st, 10 to noon. It's our quarterly meeting. And I look forward to hearing from both the EPA and EGLE at that meeting.
I'm going to try to keep these meetings about this length or shorter if we can. The quarterly meeting might end up being longer because there's going to be some new information, I think, comes through.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Arthur. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.